everywhere I go. I'm just trying to quietly find a campsite. And a quarry-ish kind of thing turns up and I just lose it.
In 200 meters, make a U-turn.
What did they tear out of here? What was in that big pit? Look at all the rubble around. How much of Australia is like this? They hand it to regional councils. Look at all that limestone down there. They hand it to regional councils who individually rip it up. They hand large portions to land developers and let them rip it up. They hand some to farmers. Large amounts of it to defence forces, universities. I'm finding around Perth, excuse me while I reverse myself out of this mess, many facilities like nursing homes for the aged. These are all on the edges of hills that look like star forts. So they take a big chunk of the side of the hill away, sell the land off to the church or the Masons or one of those supposed charitable organisations.
Continue on Point Brown Road for 9 kilometers.
Thank you, dude. Rough. They sell the land off and probably, no doubt, hide tunnels and things, etc. with these new constructions. Nursing homes. Gosh, what do we have in Perth? The Quarry Amphitheatre. We have so much defence land, former university lands. Lots of water corporation, the water utility. They've got their reservoirs on the top of every hill. But what were they before that? Were they something else? I'm still not convinced that Buckland Hill was built new. It was built by Water Corporation. I think it's a cover-up of something else. And so many of our hills have similar, these big flat reservoirs on top. Too late to call in forensics, isn't it? Cordon off Australia. I want it investigated. Other coaster up there. Hello, other coaster. Oh, look at this. Stop. Spend a night or two. It's a little bit wild and a little bit cold for swimming, but the sun's come out for a little while. It's beautiful. Smoky Point, I believe, and Smoky Bay is on the other side of that point.
Wake up and listen.
Chemtrail, contrail. How about, there's such an incredible amount of weather manipulation on I could make a whole video alone on that. Ish. Gas masks on. It was a beautiful day. I doubt the camera can pick this up, but there's another of those contrails, what a con that is, running parallel to the other one. Is it just condensation, or are they spreading something? Still a beautiful day. I'm a little bit further over. There's wasabi in the distance near the white band. Looking at granite. That's what it is, isn't it? It's granite. And strange joints. And this oops, this little thing that was in there. It reminds me of the colour of porphyry marble. On the way back, where the salt damaged looking ones, whatever it is, there's this strange red bit that's only really in this area too. And look at the laminations on this, but on this side of it. And then it like fits over the top. There's another big piece of it. Animal, mineral, vegetable. Man-made. Grown in a petri dish. I don't know. Too much for my poor brain. Wow. Just changed dramatically. And the vegetation. It's just a salt lake. those bread and butter skies. And then I learnt about weather manipulation. I was going to pull up just to say, ugh, look at the sky today. And I did see them spraying yesterday. And cognitive dissonance told me it was a contrail. But look at the sky today. And the weather manipulation in this area. But fortuitous indeed, because I wanted to look at this area. I noticed it on the way in. Now I passed a whole lot of these across the Nullarbor. You'll notice at the ridge just over there, we're in a big flat salt lake. Salt lake? Salt pan? And the vegetation is very different. There are strange little mounds here and there. And there's a really distinct change. What's all that sand piled up over there? The road is also completely different. So in this very area where the vegetation changes, don't think there's another car in sight. One went past a few minutes ago. The road changes completely just here, and then beyond that ridge where the vegetation changes. Plus all the strange piles of soil which seem to have been pushed all the way to the coast in some instances. I'm up on one of the high points between the hills. And it's all just... It honestly looks like it's just been piled dumped. And the vegetation has grown on it. Just looks like everything was tipped here. And this would be one of the highest points around. And there are several like this. I was wondering if they were large boulders or something. But it's just sand with a reddish hint. And it's slowly eroding away because it's only sand. We need to talk about soil chemistry. Perhaps chlorine bombs? Was this a town site? Like I said, they're all across the Nullarbor, especially along the Hayden Road, the old Hayden Road, out towards Norseman. Salt pans or bomb sites that have been repatriated in some fashion. It's so remote out here. How would you know? What year did that take place? Food for thought. Another one. Just a small area, but look at the random hills around it in what's largely been flat. Sand hills in the distance. Big hills on this side. Stuff still buried. As I was saying, out on the Nullarbor. Now, obviously, it's 3 days drive. I'm not going to film the whole thing, so we're just going to go from Google here. That would be too many hours worth of editing. But I've picked a couple of choice spots, and I'll try and highlight the vegetation changes. And it changes constantly. for something that's meant to be just a huge stretch of red dirt that's never really supported any kind of civilization, why the constant change in vegetation? And a few, well, more than a few by the roadside, of these cleared areas. So I'm at a bit of a loss, but I'm willing to venture that there were things removed and things destroyed. More down here. So you get the green and... what the heck is that? A little bit of green, a little bit of actual grass. What are they hiding there? That's really weird. On both sides of the road. Anyway, moving on. The vegetation. I don't know what to say. It's just, look at it. Is that the result of something natural? I highly doubt it. And then areas like this. Looks kind of like lips sideways. But what is it? Why is it so different there? I mean, it wouldn't be totally out there to say chemical spill. But what is it? Is it the result of carpet bombing or something? And then you get to this thing, the blowhole. Now, I've said that there's caves, and I'm yet to go and explore any of them. But let's take a look at some of these. Now, this is just the Saguna, I'm not sure how you say it, the blowhole. And now this is what they would probably tell you is limestone. That's the size of the hole. Just a random hole in the landscape. And the limestone, or, geez, looking at some of the images, it looks more like concrete. Look at that. It looks like concrete. It looks like it's molded in one solid piece. So was that bored out? I don't think so. It's not uniform to say it's been drilled or something. Blowhole. Oh, wait. Okay, here's some official BS for us. Let me read. The blowholes on the Nullarbor have been formed by weathering through to underground cavities. The cave below here has clearance heights of about 0.5 to 1.5 metres. All caves breathe to some extent. Nullarbor caves breathe more vigorously than caves in any other area in Australia. Air movement at one cave entrance on the Nullarbor has been measured to be about 72 kilometres per hour. A cave breathes out when the air pressure falls and breathes in when it rises. Speed of breathing is related to the cross-sectional area of a cave's entrance and to the volume of the air contained in the cave. Air movement in large cave entrances can be almost impossible to detect. Oh dear. Yeah, that guy's face sums it up. Okay, so back to the stone, or I'm going to say geopolymer, because it's so consistent in colour and texture. It really is like concrete, but it's sandstony colour. Ooh, that looks blocked up. And where does it go? It doesn't actually go down to a cave. It seems to just stop there. So it's been filled in. If that guy is standing in it with a child, he's either a complete idiot or he's confident enough that he's not going to fall through. And then, what is that? That's a strange shape. blowhole? And if it has been blocked up, how is the cave breathing? Are we suffocating caves? Or why is it not blowing open by itself? What do you make of it, folks? Thanks for coming, huh? Also, this spot, look at that. A reddish square and a greyish square. Oops, and another greyish square. Oop, and a little grey square. Next to a dirt road with intersections. Oh, in a heart. I heart Nullarbor. I quite enjoyed my trip on the Nullarbor. It's my third, second in the bus. Even the running out of petrol bit was fun. But explain me what's going on. Back to where I started on this trip, over near Hyden, on the west side of Australia, Western Australia. Now, I can't explain what's going on here. First, I had wondered, maybe had they tried to eradicate roads or something, or towns? I'm actually wondering now if it was rivers. But look on. So Hyden area and Lake Magic. I don't know why it's magic. Maybe because it appeared by some form of magic. And Wave Rock. Now, I did briefly show this in another video, and I can't even remember which one. Might have been the Egypt one, actually. But look at the entire area, and they've gone over all these little wiggly bits, which are now just salt pans, roads, rivers. Why did the salt come up just in those areas and not the rest of the areas? And you have to wonder how there are perfectly lovely pieces of state forest in the middle of it. It's not making much sense to me. And then over here, what happens there? Then back to the other end of the spectrum, to the other side of the Nullarbor, Port Augusta and Saltia. Salty. Let's take a look at Saltia. Just above Port Augusta. It's a nice respite day from the heat of yesterday. Just capturing the landscape. Saltia, they call it. Saltia. The original. Historic town, I'm yet to see why. Historic cover-up, I'm going to guess.